Ciao a tutti, sono Nicola Rovetta per Rock Nation. Avremo con noi come portavoce della band degli Hanson adesso Isaac Hanson, uno dei tre fratelli che una certa generazione ricorderà come autori di un album che ha caratterizzato un momento storico, dopo il quale, attraverso diciamo vicissitudini discografiche, loro in un momento di orgoglio hanno fondato la loro casa discografica e hanno proseguito così una dignitosissima, anche se meno visibile, ma continuativa carriera, con addirittura 40 canzoni nel top 40, 7 album in studio, 5 album live, 2 album di Natale, documentari, marce benefiche. Insomma, parleremo adesso della visione della musica degli Hanson attraverso il punto di vista appunto di uno di loro, Isaac, e di questo nuovo album che è interessante perché è strutturato attraverso 3 diversi, diciamo, album solisti uniti in un unico progetto che stranamente, anziché sancire una divisione, in realtà consolida i legami di famiglia. Ma andiamo a sentire direttamente dalla voce di Isaac che cosa ne pensa e che cosa ci racconta. Isaac Hanson per Rock Nation. So let's dive into the questions because I'm curious about that. So the first question is about the peculiarity of this album. So after 30 years as a band, you celebrate your unity by recording your own solo albums. So basically you divide to celebrate unity. And I've read that in the past, you also have been as a menace, as a threat. You have been maybe sometimes pushed to tear apart as a band. But now I think that in this choice, in your, I imagine, but you are saying to me, in your full adulthood and independence, the choice of expressing individuality kind of reinforces your bonds. Is it true?
Well, it is true. So I think what is important to say is, as an artist, you need to always find ways to stretch yourself. And that is a big part of what this album is about. But it is also about deconstructing and examining the unique parts of this band, of this unit, and painting, shall we say, in bold colors, you know, the red and the green and the blue. Yeah, exactly. And because I think it is interesting, since we were children, those were our childhood favorite colors. And it is also a color format. From those colors, you make all of the different colors in LED technology. That's how you make all the different colors. And so I think that there are a lot of messages in this album. It's kind of like from these many colors, you get the whole picture. It's also, these are very unique colors and different people. I think you need to show people different sides of yourself, especially after doing it for 30 years together. It seemed like a 3-part project for 30 years seemed like something that made sense.
Very, very. I think it's a beautiful project for that. And I'm also curious about one thing. The album was produced by you guys and Jim Scott, who happens also being a great engineer and sound mixer, and also David Garza, who's an artist himself, a producer, etc. I'm curious about the fact the process about choosing songs. Did they have, let's say, the last words on the song, or the last word on the songs list, like a traditional producer, or did you come up? Because I imagine that narrowing it to 5 songs, it has been very hard for you guys. So did you have a final say about, I don't know, deciding about your brother's songs, or did you delegate all to the producers? How the choice was made?
Yeah, well, each of us approached that process differently, the process of selecting songs. And I shared a lot of information, a lot of songs as ideas, because I wanted for Taylor and Zach to be aware of some of the things that were inspiring me and some of the things that I felt like I wanted to say. Zach did a similar thing. He didn't do as much of that. And then Taylor and David in specific, but also Jim as well. Taylor specifically just said, hey, these are the 5 I want to work on. So everyone had a slightly different process. And that, I think, is a reflection of lots of elements of who we are as people. I also think that if there was a song that that the other two brothers said, "Hey man, I don't think that's very good," or I think you should consider not putting that on the album. I think that would have been respected and understood. But I think we all also felt like that would have kind of not been our place to say it as well. So luckily that wasn't a problem. Luckily that was not something that we needed to do, because if we were to get involved in each other's song selections or things of that nature, that would kind of defeat the point. So it was mostly each of us as individuals, and then working with David and Jim to select the 5 songs for each portion of the album.
Fantastic. I imagine very hard process. And also you are happen to be also musicians, because people knows very well your vocal ability, but you are also musicians.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, to which extent did you play in each other's song?
We played as much as needed, as much as was needed. I did not assume that Zach would need me to play things or Taylor would need me, but there was, I think we wanted to use each other for continuity and for connection. But I think it's not even about whether we played or not. I think what really changed the process was why we would play. Because when you're a band and you're saying, I'm working on this together, you say, this is my opinion and this is what I want to do because it reflects me in this band. But on the Red, Green, Blue album, we would come into the process and we would say, what do you want me to play? Is this what you want? Is this what you need from me? Is what I'm doing serving your song? And that's a very different way of working together. And I think that was really important and really healthy, because what it did was, even if I said, well, I can't play that, or, oh, I don't like that, well, then maybe it's played by someone else, and that's okay. We didn't have to do it, but we volunteered ourselves to do it. And I think it produced a really good conversation, and I think it allowed our relationship as bandmates and brothers to grow in a different way, because we've never done that before. We've never come into the studio and, well, I should say that differently. We do that sometimes, but to decide that every time you come in to the songs that Taylor is working on or that Zach is working on, that you are not telling him what you want, you are asking him what he wants. It changes things. Different. It changes things a lot. Yeah.
Very, very good.
Most of all, it changes your ego.
Yeah.
It changes. It changes why you're playing.
You said it was healthy, so I think this was the right word. I think I have brothers too, and I think that is the right word for that. And I come with next question to another theme, which is in your career, it seems like giving a purpose to music and concert has been somewhat something constant for you. So the documentary and the lectures about the music industry crisis back in the days on the Great Divide, the walk, etc. Do you think that success is something that commits you in a way to give back to people?
I think music specifically has a beautiful power to give back to people. And so you have to say from your heart and from your mind and from your hands and feet, what is it that I am giving? And what is it that I'm sharing? And is this something that I feel like is going to help people through their life? Sometimes helping people through their life is just making them dance. Sometimes it's just about having fun, but there are many times where it's not. And so you have to allow yourself to dive into those places, because I do think that music is about serving the audience. But I think that there's something that you have to say about that, which is more complicated, which is, in order for me to serve the audience, I have to write a song that I feel is honest from me. And if I write a song that I feel is honest, then I think it is something that many people can connect with. But if I write a song that is pretending to be something, then I will have to pretend to be that thing for the rest of my life. And so you have to be very careful about what you, how you write those songs. You need having an imagination is important, reflecting things that you have not always been through, but you understand is important. But you do have to consider that every single time you put something into the world, it is something you will probably live with for the rest of your life. So you have to be honest about where you're coming from. And so that, I think, is serving the audience with being true to yourself and being honest with them in that conversation.
Great words. I hope that some other musicians hear them. And so going again into sharing something with music, I read that for you, one of the real meanings of success is not having, a lot of listeners, a lot of people in the concert, a lot of money, but it is having a solid fan base that allowed you to make music through the years. So I heard that you are very, very careful in how do you care about your fans, let's say. So it happened also that you gave your music for free, or that you included fans in your music videos. So your relationship with your hardcore fans is one of a kind, I think. And would you like to tell us something about it? So do they let you leave? Are you grateful to them? Which is your relationship now with your fan base?
Yeah. Well, I think, first of all, I think you get what you give. If you are able to meet someone where they are in their life and genuinely be there with them as much as you can in those moments when you meet people, I think that matters. I'm not saying that I'm not confident and believe that what I do has value and is good quality music, but I think ego can come with that, and ego is a very dangerous thing. And so you try to continually cut against this idea that you are important, because I think, while what I am doing is valuable to me and is the reason why people are coming to the show, people knowing that they are valuable to you, and that that if they don't come to the show, if they don't buy an album or continue to be a part of this conversation of that is our music, then you don't have a future. And I think so. Music creates a personal connection between the artist and the audience. And yes, we don't know each other personally, but there are connections that we share. And so meeting people where they connect with you is powerful. And so you try your best to just to hear what people have to say, to engage them in as best a way as possible in those moments, and share that little moment of life that they have with them and be present. It's not always perfect. You can't always do it the perfect way, but you have to try, because it's important. Because I think every person that is in the room is important, and so you're just trying your best to be respectful and honor the excitement and the commitment that they have made to you to be there in the room. And hopefully that creates better songs. Hopefully that creates a better show. Hopefully that creates a lasting connection, and it gets into the ideas of the songs so that people feel that even more clearly from you, because it is a genuine feeling of knowing that we are not, that we could not do it without him. And we're grateful for that gift that they have given us. And so we have a duty to try to give back to them.
Fantastic. So it's all about people. And about Italian people, you finally come back to Italy. Do you have a solid fan base here? What do you expect from the Italian audience?
Well, the Italians are wonderful, and they're very warm and very they're very have like a lot of passion is a good word to say. You know, they're very expressive in their feelings and in their conversations, and so they give a lot to us as a band who gets to play for them. We get a lot out of that relationship. I don't know what else to say other than that. I mean, we've had many amazing shows. Especially we played in Milan more than most places.
Yeah.
And Milan has been wonderful. And I only hope to do, you know, many more cities and many more tours in Italy to get a better understanding of
the rest.
You know, I'd like, yeah, I'd like. I mean, the times that we've been to Napoli, it's wonderful. Love being there. I've never been to Sicily. I would love to go there. Played some shows in Rome a few times, but mostly in Milan, and every single show has been great.
Yeah, but people is going to. I think that people is going to come to Milan from other cities too, because in Italy we move a lot for concerts. So I think that you are going to have a diverse audience here in Milan. I hope.
I'm sure we will. Yeah, and I hope so as well. Yeah.
Last question for you. It's not a question. It's you always kept like a distance from the music industry from a certain point on. So you move towards your own independence as artist, and I think it has been healthy for you. What advice can you give to young musicians these days? Should they follow the trends, follow the guts? Do they have to change their plans? I don't know. What's your advice for musicians now?
Well, so I'll try and be as honest as I can be about it, because I think it's important to understand, you know, one of the main reasons why we went and did what we have done with being being independent and having our own record company was because of the changes that happened in the music business around us. And we were stuck. We had been signed by a company, but then several different companies inherited our contract. And so the people that understood why we were signed in the first place, the people who brought us the most kind of success and notoriety in the very beginning, were no longer there when our second record was released. We had no control over, you know, what that future was going to look like.
Yeah, I remember.
And then it changed again during multiple times during that 2-year period between 1999 and 2001. It changed significantly as well, you know, like multiple different times, and not to mention in early 1999 when multiple companies merged. So we decided that after being basically on house arrest, as we would say, you know, trying to make an album, we said, we don't care. We want out. We want away from this. We spent 3.5 years trying to make an album, and we're never going to get stuck in this place again. We're never going to get stuck in this place again, because it almost felt like they were trying to ruin our career, trying to ruin our life, you know, because at some point our audience doesn't know what to do and we don't know what to tell them. So we said, we'll never be stuck in that position again. And the best way we knew how was to take on the responsibility of our own independent record company. And that has created certainly some challenges, because it's impossible to compete with the size. It's impossible to compete with the size and the bank account of giant record companies. But we can go to bed at night and sleep well, and we can serve our audience every day at a show, and we can build on the career that we started and the career that we will have. And it's not perfect. You always hope that every single you release will become #1 smash hit. You always hope for it. And everyone would want that to be the case for themselves, but we know that that's not realistic. And the most important thing is that we put our heart and soul into the music and give our best to the audience that we have, and that will sustain and grow over time. And it's proved to be so. It's proved to be so. We were told almost 20 years ago that our career was over. We were told that, we wouldn't, have any fan base left and all these things. And we gave the bird to the people that said that and said, we're gonna do it our way. And with a lot of hard work, it's continued to sustain itself and continue to work. So
try to be true.
It's not perfect.
And sustain itself.
It's not perfect. Yeah.
Anyway,
and again, like I said, it's not perfect, but nothing ever is. So you just have to say, I am doing the best that I can, and I'm proud of what I have done, and I'm grateful to every single person who is in the crowd, and that is a genuine statement. And I know that the future is bright as long as those things are still true. So.
Yeah. For sure, you will have something back from your audience with that kind of attitude, I think. Great. So thank you. Say hi to the rest of the band, to the brothers, and to everyone. And we look forward to seeing you here in Italy. So
yes, I do too. Thank you very much.
Grazie. Ciao. Have a nice day.
Grazie.